between the two rivals and neighbors after New Delhi claimed that there were cross-border links to a terror attack in Indian-administered Kashmir last week that killed 26 people. Officials say on the ground, troops are closing in on suspected terrorists who carried out that attack and are believed to be in hiding in Kashmir. Pakistan has denied any links to the terror attack and has called for an independent probe.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Yep, and good morning. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a busy Wednesday, the 30th day of April for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports. We'll get you the information you need to begin another day. The Nebraska baseball team picking up a big win last night. A walk-off three-run double in the bottom of the ninth inning by Gabe Swanson gave the Huskers a 7-6 victory over Kansas State last night at Hawks Field. We'll talk about that coming up here this morning. Some more honors for Nebraska softball player Jordy Ball. Big Ten Conference has announced the home and away matchups for the 2025-2026 men's college basketball season. We'll take a peek here this morning. Four more Nebraska football players have entered the transfer portal. Hastings College softball team getting ready to begin play in the GPAC postseason softball tournament today up in Fremont. We've got some high school baseball to talk about. An exciting game last night as Adams Central knocks off Central City Centura by the score of 5-2. That was the first loss of the season for the Colonels after 17 straight wins. Meanwhile, Ben Wibbles of Hastings High threw a one-hitter yesterday, struck out 12 as the Tigers beat Holdridge by the score of 6-0. Of course, we got stuff in the NBA playoffs, the National Hockey League playoffs. What more do you want here for a Wednesday as we bring in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios this morning? Good morning.
And good morning. I mean, you got this show. I mean, you can solo it just with headlines alone, with what's been going on in the sports world as of late. But yeah, an exciting Husker finish last night. A good morning to Lou Dog, who's checking in bright and early here on the live stream lobby. So yeah, plenty to get to here on today's show. But let's say, I guess, first start off with Nebraska baseball. A big momentum boost yesterday in a walk-off victory. A gutsy send call too. Trying to deliver all three of those RBIs to walk things off. I mean, that throw was like cut off and was already heading towards the plate when they were just sending him around third, and I said, oh no. Throws offline, Nebraska wins. I mean, that's either extremely intelligent scouting or you're just going to go for it and you're going to take your 70-30 shot at that point. A gutsy send from Nebraska to send them off with a walk-off victory. And just talking with a few of the folks last night, some baseball buddies, you pick up a very convincing victory over the weekend. You pick up the walk-off victory against a really good K-State squad, and ingredients are starting to turn. And obviously we're late in the season. We know we need to start playing some winning ball, but it's been postseason ball essentially for Nebraska since middle April. But things are starting to turn a little bit, and you're starting to see what this team can look like when it's playing high caliber ball, and it's fun and it's exciting, and it's exactly what we thought we'd see. And it took a long enough time to get here, that's for sure.
Nebraska now 22-23 in the season. They'll host Minnesota in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. So a big win for the Nebraska baseball team last night. Let's talk about some high school stuff. We mentioned Adams Central. They go on the road last night in Central City and beat a very good Central City Centura team by a score of 5-2. That was a night after the Patriots got beat by Norris 13-0. Jacob Reichstein For Adams Central, he was dead on. He struck out 11 through a 4-hitter against the Central City Centura. Jackson Chagru led off the ball game with a home run for Adams Central. Home runs for this team have been far and in between the last couple of years. And in a big game, Jackson Chagru steps up to the plate and homers on the very first at-bat to left field to give the Patriots the lead. And that's a lead they never gave back. They win 5-2. So Adams Central now 15-6 on the season. They're going to play again today against Twin River. Duncan Field first pitch will be at 3 o'clock. So our broadcast schedule today, you are heading to Fremont for the Hastings College GPAC postseason tournament. Hastings College playing Midland today at noon. That game will be here on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame at about 11:45. We'll have the Adams Central Twin River game on Extreme Sports 2 today. That's an early game, 3 o'clock first pitch, 2:45 for the pregame. And then you'll hang around. Hastings College will play again at either 4 or 6 o'clock, depending on if they win or lose that first ball game. And we'll have that game for you as well here on Extreme Sports. So a busy day for us here, but that's kind of what we're built for. We'll provide you all the play-by-play that you need with high school and college sports today on Extreme Sports and on Extreme Sports 2.
Yeah, exciting night for Adams Central baseball. And, a lot of people are putting a lot into, oh, man, they're a game removed from getting beat 13-0 and then to turn around and knock off an undefeated team. People put a lot of stock into that, obviously. But it's baseball. I mean, and that is the quintessential word for baseball is looking at a scoreline like that where you go out and you just kind of have a little bit of a clunker against a very good Norris team and turn around and take down the top team in Class C. You get bounces and breaks that just go your way. But, I've always thought, like baseball especially, these diamond sports, man, like, you have to have that quick memory. You have to be able to flush these games because the season's long and postseason's coming up, and you just got to be able to get right back on track and get back to work. And credit Tim Stroman and the AC Patriots. That's exactly what his boys did last night. They were able to flush that one. They didn't carry that around. They didn't let it linger and sting. And bus ride back probably sucked a little bit, but other than that, they got right back to work and got right back to work in an early fashion with some ambush tactics on the scoreboard and then got some brilliant pitching as well. So, that's baseball and AC's playing it well.
I told Stroman yesterday if he lost that game, the chain was coming off.
Uh-huh.
And what happens? They go out and win 5-2.
He's not losing that chain for the world, man.
Yeah, he thought he might even shave too. If the Patriots lost yesterday, he says I might even shave. He didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So his boys, they came up big 5-2 over Central City Centura. Not to be overshadowed by Ben Wibbles yesterday for Hastings High. Again, he threw a one-hitter, struck out 12. The Tigers beat Holdridge yesterday at Duncan 6-0. So Hastings High now 10-10 in the season. They'll play at Kearney on Friday. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Wednesday, final day of April. What happened to April? All I know is I paid my taxes a couple of weeks ago, and they have yet to cash my check.
What the hell happened to March?
Yeah, I don't even know what happened to March.
What happened to March? St. Patrick's Day was like a really fun time. We all gathered together, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, by the way, it's the last day of April. I did get my check in from the state of Nebraska yesterday, my whole whopping $4 check that I took right to the bank and announced with great pleasure, like, hey, look at this, everybody, here's my big refund. It's $4 whopping bucks. Throw it in the checking account and let this baby multiply. I had him rolling yesterday at the credit union. It was a good time, so.
$4.
Yeah, my $4 whopping dollars. Thank you, state of Nebraska. Glad I was your humble servant.
Yeah, you can't even buy a pitcher of beer for $4. So hopefully you got a couple extra bucks.
I'm just putting them together to see if they'll multiply.
All right, 7:09. NBA playoffs last night. We'll get to that. Indiana got by Milwaukee 119-118. So the Pacers win that series 4-1. Detroit edged the New York Knicks 106-103. New York still leads that series 3-2. Boston defeated Orlando 120-96. 89. The Celtics win that series 4-1. And Denver beat the Los Angeles Clippers 131-115. Denver leads that series 3-2. Tonight, Golden State is at Houston, and Minnesota is at the Los Angeles Lakers.
Eastern Conference NHL, to the ice we go, Burr, chilly. Hurricanes moving on. They get an OT winner against the New Jersey Devils. The Canes will advance with a 5-4 overtime victory and win the series 4-1. Carolina moving on into the Eastern Conference semifinals. In the West, where it's been... Well, it has been tight. All the series tied up at 2. I was trying to find an analogy. It's early yet. Forgive me, folks. Brain's not working. The Las Vegas Golden Knights, they edged the Minnesota Wild 3-2. Find an OT winner. That was a late contest and made even later by sudden death OT. So Vegas now has the 3-2 advantage and opportunity to close things out as we move along throughout the week. Edmonton, with Connor McDavid, find a way to beat LA on the road at the Staples Center. I believe that's the first time a road team has won in that series. Edmonton has the 3-2 edge over the LA Kings. And then tonight in the NHL, it'll start off the Eastern Conference 6 o'clock as the Washington Capitals will try to close out the Montreal Habs, a.k.a. Canadiens. That a 6 o'clock start. 6:30, the battle in Florida commences. Tampa Bay Lightning trailing the Florida Panthers 3-1. It is in Tampa Bay. And we're back in Winnipeg, back in Canada with the St. Louis Blues. They'll get underway at 8:30 tonight for all you midnight owls. That's about what time that matchup will end. God forbid we have overtime there. 8:30, stay up late, watch some St. Louis Blues hockey. They'll be on ESPN in a 2-2 pivotal Game 5 against the Jets.
You're hoping for a noon and 4 o'clock game today up in Fremont so you can get back and watch the Blues tonight.
Well, hoping for hoping for noon and 4 anyways, because that means we're in the winner's bracket, which is great. But yeah, then by the time we sneak back in from Fremont, can catch the Blues. So
it'll be a streak coming down the interstate. It'll be a streak coming down the interstate with you. Anyway.
Anyways.
George Kittle.
Kittle.
He signed a contract extension with the San Francisco 49ers yesterday. A 4-year contract worth $76.4 million.
Wow.
The extension includes $40 million in guaranteed money. He's entering his 9th season in the NFL. Last year, he ranked 3rd among tight ends in receiving yards. He was tied for 2nd in touchdowns and was 1st in yards per reception. So if I didn't get Travis Kelce in the fantasy football draft, you always look to somebody like George Kittle. I had Kelce last year, and he didn't do squat for me.
Not until like the very, very, very end of the season.
By then, I was out of the running.
You were already done. You were already done, so you reached for him too, if memory serves me correct.
I did.
Yep.
I didn't have an opportunity to get him in any of my other fantasy drafts throughout the past couple of years, so I thought, what the hell, I'm going to get him this year. And I did, and then he didn't do anything for me. He was too busy with something else.
Got other things to focus on.
So, yeah, George Kittle is a rock in the NFL. $76.4 million. He's rewarded for that, a 4-year contract.
The tight end position, that's one in fantasy football that I kind of flex in like defenses. You know, I don't really give a damn. My quarterback, my running backs, my wide receivers, they're going to be the big point grabbers. You can get a tight end that's like a PPR gold mine every now and then, but there's 3 good ones, and then the rest you just throw into a basket and pick one out, which is sort of what I do. I'm not going to waste a high draft pick on a tight end, because if they have a bust like they had with you, then you're left with 4 wins in the course of the regular season and missing out on the postseason. So,
but it's important if you have a chance to grab one of the top 3.
I think it's a wasted pick.
I grab the tight end if I have a Travis Kelce hanging out there for me. And,
sure.
And I grabbed him this year, and I might rethink my draft strategy next year. Yeah, I didn't know he was going to be so involved with Taylor Swift. Wow. That was not part of my factoring.
Going out with like the world's most popular woman. Who'd have thought that they would have spent some time together?
Speaking of money, Dylan Raiola, Nebraska quarterback, inked a deal yesterday, an NIL deal with Adidas. He now holds a lofty NIL valuation of $2.3 million entering his second season at Nebraska. Not bad for a sophomore college kid.
Making more than Shadur Sanders is probably making in Cleveland.
Oh, he won't sign a contract that large, really. $2 million.
That's what I'm saying.
As
He's
a
making more
fifth-rounder?
than Shadur is making than he got in the fifth round.
Yeah, no doubt.
There was actually talks like that he would withdraw his name from the draft and then go back to Colorado to go make more money, but then they would have had to give him a different number because 2 was already retired, which would have been fantastic and a beautiful way to complete that poetic circle. But let's not get riled up on Shadur Sanders today. It's 7:15.
Yeah, well, you went off on him yesterday or the day before.
It's not very good.
7:15, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. You can chime in with us if you'd like. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, or you can leave us a message on one of our social media sites. Everybody chiming in on that. We've got a lot of people in the lobby standing by here this morning. I got some interviews coming up today. We're going to hear from Troy Baker. He is the head softball coach at Hastings College as they get ready to play today in Fremont. Also, Alicia O'Donnell of Hastings College is going to be joining us here today talking about the college's participation in Give Hastings Day. So all that and more is coming up here as you wake up and get going with Mike and Tyson. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:16.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
$7:16, and our first story will take us to the council chambers, where earlier this week the Hastings City Council voted 5-3 to allow the phrase "In God We Trust" to be displayed alongside the city logo in public buildings. The decision followed an hour of lengthy debate and public testimony with divided opinion. Mayor Jay Beckby will oversee the design and placement of the displays in facilities like the public library, the museum, and the Hastings pools. More on Sunday's tornado in western Nebraska. It's being reported as one of the largest in the state's history. Only 7 tornadoes in Nebraska history have exceeded a mile in width. This tornado, which derailed the 130 train cars, destroyed a home. It measured about 2,200 yards, or just a little bit under 1.5 miles in width, making it the widest tornado ever recorded in the region since 1950, that according to data from the National Weather Service office. Traveling at 21 miles from Garden County into Cherry County with wind speeds exceeding 130 miles per hour, officials are still assessing damage, especially in rural Cherry County. Nebraska lawmakers advanced a bill yesterday that would cut inheritance tax rates and increase exemptions while introducing alternative revenue sources to help counties offset the lost funds. Critics against the measure were arguing that Nebraskans accept the current tax and fear that changes could harm county budgets. However, this bill proposes new fees and tax reallocations to maintain county revenue and prevent property tax hikes, though it also eliminates several business tax incentives. The bill did pass first-round debate with 27 votes, a 27-10 vote, so it does face some calls for revision before that bill moves forward. It is now coming up on 7:19. We'll swing things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, Gabe Swanson hit a walk-off 3-run double in the bottom of the 9th inning to give the Nebraska baseball team a 7-6 victory over Kansas State last night at Oxfield and Lincoln. Nebraska scored 7 runs on 9 hits with 3 errors, while Kansas State totaled 6 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Dylan Carey led the Huskers at the plate, going 3 for 3 with a pair of runs scored. Tucker Timberman was the starting pitcher last night for the Huskers. He tossed 2 2/3 innings and allowed an unearned run on 2 hits with a pair of strikeouts. Nebraska is now 22-23 on the season and will host Minnesota in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. Nebraska's softball player Jordy Ball has earned 3 national honors for her performance last weekend in Washington. She was named the NFCA Player of the Week, along with the D1 Softball Player of the Week and Softball America Star of the Week. Ball was also named the Big Ten Player of the Week. She hit .625 last weekend with 5 hits, 3 home runs, 3 runs scored, and 8 RBIs. The Big Ten Conference has announced the home and away matchups for the 2025-2026 men's college basketball season. With 18 teams, the Big Ten schedule features 3 double-play opponents and 1 game apiece against the remaining 14 conference schools to make up the 20-game conference season. Nebraska's double-play opponents for the upcoming season are with Iowa, Illinois, and Northwestern. The Huskers will have other home games against Maryland, Michigan State, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Wisconsin, and Washington. Nebraska will have other road games at Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, Rutgers, UCLA, and USC. Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola has inked an NIL deal with Adidas. Raiola now holds a lofty NIL valuation of $2.3 million, entering his second season at Nebraska. 4 more Nebraska football players have entered the transfer portal. Defensive back Evan Taylor, receiver Hayes Miller, and defensive lineman Ian Flint and David Borchers are all exiting the program. That makes 6 players that have entered the portal this week. Nebraska unofficially sits at 123 players now after the departures as they move closer to the future 105-man limit. Hastings College softball team will play Midland today in the first round of the GPAC Conference Tournament up in Fremont. 2 teams split a doubleheader last week. Game time today will be at noon. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with the pregame show at 11:45 this morning. In the other game, Morningside will play Dort. Meanwhile, in Orange City, Northwestern will take on Doane today, and Dakota Wesleyan will battle Concordia. The GPAC baseball tournament also gets underway today. In Seward, Briar Cliff will play Midland, and Concordia will take on Dakota Wesleyan. Meanwhile, in Yankton, Doane will play Northwestern, and Morningside will face Mount Marty. Hastings College women's golf team finished 10th in the GPAC Women's Golf Championship in Cairo this week. The Broncos finished with a team score of 1075. Doane won the event with a 955. Jacob Reichstein threw a 4-hitter last night to lead Adams Central to a 5-2 victory over Central City Centura. It's the first loss of the season for the Colonels after 17 straight wins. Reichstein struck out 11, walked 7. Jackson Chagru led off the game with a home run and finished with 2 base hits and an RBI. Adams Central is now 15-6 on the season. They'll play host to Twin River today out at Duncan Field. First pitch will be at 3. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports 2, beginning with the pregame show at 2:45 this afternoon. Ben Wibbles of Hastings High threw a 1-hitter, struck out 12, as the Tigers beat Holdridge yesterday by a score of 6-0. Tucker Senek had 2 hits, including a triple. Hastings High is now 10-10 on the season. They'll play at Kearney on Friday. A couple other games yesterday. Kearney beat Bellevue East by the score of 2-1, and Grand Island shut out Lincoln North Star 9-0. Hastings High soccer teams wrapped up the regular season with wins yesterday over Lincoln Standing Bear. The boys won 5-0 to improve to 14-1 in the season. The girls won their game 2-1 to up their record to 5-10. So a busy day for a Wednesday. That's a check on your sports headlines coming up on 7:24 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday, we'll have a chance for some showers throughout the morning and early afternoon time frame. About a 50% chance, a high of 67. So obviously it'll be cloudy today and not a lot of wind. That'll be a good thing as well. Overnight tonight, a chance of an area shower or thunderstorm. 48 is the overnight low. On Thursday, We'll bring the sunshine back. It'll still be fairly cool compared to where we've been. 69 is the high. 44 Thursday night. And heading into the weekend, plenty of sunshine and 60s.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got east winds at 5 miles per hour. It is cloudy. It is 47 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high speed, dirt slinging, adrenaline pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, Mike Wills, Science Center Bronick with you on this Wednesday morning. You're listening to Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports for this final day of April for 2025 as we get you up, get you going here this morning. Again, a big day for us as far as play-by-play sports for us on Extreme Sports. We'll start things off at 11:45 this morning pregame show. 12 o'clock for the first pitch. It'll be Hastings College playing in Fremont against Midland in the first round of the GPAC postseason tournament. We'll have the game right here on Extreme Sports. Tyson be heading to Fremont here soon to get ready for that one. Hastings and Midland coming up at noon today. I will have Adams Central and Twin River from Duncan Field today in high school baseball. The Patriots coming off with their big win last night over Central City Centura. That ball game gets underway at 3. Pre-game show will be at 2:45, and that game will air on Extreme Sports 2 today. So Hastings College will be here on the main channel at Extreme Sports. Adams Central over on Extreme Sports 2 today, but we'll have live play-by-play coverage of the Broncos and the Patriots. Hastings College will play a second game today at either 4 or 6, depending on if they win or lose that first game. We'll have that one for you as well from Fremont. So a lot of sports play-by-play coming up for us here today. And speaking of the GPAC tournament, Tyson had a chance to sit down with Hastings College head coach Troy Baker.
Hastings College softball coverage continues here on Extreme Sports as we get set for the GPAC Conference Tournament. Excited to be out in Fremont today as the Hastings College Broncos get set to start their conference tournament quest with a rematch from a matchup just a few weeks ago with the Midland Warriors. A Wednesday afternoon split, a needed split for the Broncos to be at this stage. They take care of business against the Doane University Tigers this past Saturday, and now joining us in the dugout for a few good minutes as we get ready for this one. Head coach Troy Baker joining us on the show. And first of all, Coach, congratulations on getting to this stage here in the GPAC postseason. A lot of needed victories down the stretch. Your girls go 3 of 4, and they needed every single one of them to get to this stage. But not only getting to this stage, but getting a 7 seed here and being in the Fremont bracket. Just talk a little bit and recap kind of the road to get to this stage and how well your girls performed down the stretch.
Yeah, first, thank you. Appreciate it. Getting the 7 seed is very good. I'm not saying it's easier by any means. Midland, Northwestern, you flip a coin. It's shorter. It's great for me. It's getting down there. It's going to be, a lot quicker. But great competition that we're going to see down there. And, it starts tomorrow with, a very solid ball club, very familiar. We saw them last Wednesday. We've already kind of prepared for them yesterday at practice. Today we'll work on what we saw from their pitchers. Again, it's going to be interesting to see what, Midland does from a standpoint. Are we going to see the pitcher who their ace is that we beat, or their number 2 who we lost to? So it's a flip of a coin. They're very similar pitchers, like to keep the ball away from us. And hopefully we'll make some adjustments and come away with a huge win for our program.
We'll talk more about Midland in specifics, but as we open up the Fremont pod, if you will, the 4 teams here, I think 4 teams that, when you pick up the split against Midland, played well against Morningside, the head scratcher against Dorton, opportunity to potentially right the ship on that, so to speak. But you look at all 8 of these teams in the GPAC, and I think on any given day, anybody can beat anything, and that's anybody, and that's GPAC softball for you. And I think the same is true here when you take a look at the past chances that we've had throughout the course of the season. We've all said it was not a 22-20 team, but just talk about the mentality here as we get set and as the records go to 0.
The team yesterday was still kind of flying high. They were saying, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm fine. It's great." Again, done this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of great teams come through Hastings. I've seen some great teams that we have faced on the road. We've won some of these things on the road, at home, whatever. So my job is to basically keep them calm, because was there a handful that played at Morningside a couple years ago in the first round of GPAC that upset Morningside, who was probably a huge favorite going in that game against us at that time? And that's the experience of Alexi Mudloff, a Sam Skinner, Lauren Schneider, Isabel. They were all part of that team that went down to Morningside and knew exactly what it all meant. Stakes are just a little higher. The intensity is a little bit higher. But it seems like we've played better on the road for some reason. Well, you play in a bandbox wind tunnel. You just don't know what you're going to get when you go play at the complex. Going to Fremont, just there, great facility. Love their field. It's not like we're going to go to a place where it's 280 feet. It's like 210. It's supposed to be calmer day with winds, which is crazy these days in Nebraska. But I do think our team is ready. I think Kiera's up to the challenge. they're going to see her. They did. They got her in the 7th inning. I don't take a lot from that. I don't even think she ran out of gas. I just think it got to the point where they kept stringing things together, which Midland can do. And, hopefully, we come away with a great performance for whoever, we played during the tournament.
Stakes are higher with the conference tournament and with the finality of everything that surrounds those circumstances. But also, I think maybe a side point on this game, and you mentioned it a little bit in the post-game show after we knocked off Doane. There's some history here. I talked about it with Coach Franz, and I think that Midland has, for all intents and purposes, become kind of the new Doane when it comes to a rival with Hastings College and some of the chippiness and mind games that go into that. How do you keep that under control today? How do we win that battle?
Basically, there was some stuff there going on, a little talking. They thought we tagged hard. I don't know what that means. You tag hard. She dove at her and she tagged her, kind of a push. The umpire stepped in right away. And I just said, don't get bullied. That's what I basically, again, do we want to get in a bench clearing brawl? Absolutely not. But I just said, don't back down, because I think Midland's been at the national tournament the last 3 or 4 years. Different team this year that Midland has. With a lot of the new JUCO kids, you get JUCO kids, they've been through a lot of those talking wars. They are chippy. And they're the ones that stepped in and said, do you want me to handle it? Well, no, you don't want to handle it. You just want to play softball. But I just basically said, just play. And that's all we got to do. Let the bats, let the gloves, let the, pitching do their talking for themselves. And if they want to keep on talking, at the end of the day, we'll just look at the scoreboard and see what it all is. Because that's, again, you're not going to win the talk battle. This isn't pitch perfect. This isn't a riff off. We're playing softball. And I like our chances. Again, Midland's a very good program. Beth does a great job with those girls. And I don't think we're going to back down. We're going to come ready to play, and when chips are in, we'll see who comes out at the end.
Again, Coach Baker joining us here for a few minutes on the pregame show as we get set to get underway in the GPAC postseason tournament here with the Hastings College Broncos. Bumps and bruises, nagging injuries, always a concern at this time of year. Ana Medeiros, I think, was kind of a big question mark after Doane. What's kind of the word, at least in the early portion of this week, as far as her hamstring is concerned?
It's not great. She's got a strain. She's going to be in the lineup as a hitter for right now. That means Lauren Lee's going to have to catch, every inning unless she gets hurt. And we have a third catcher. Maggie McLean can do a good job, but she hasn't played a lot of varsity softball. But Anna, is a little disappointed. She's not the fastest kid in the world anyway, but she's very nimble for how big she is. She's got great feet around first base, and she can throw as a catcher, and she's got good leadership. But she will be in the lineup, and I told her I don't want you to, ball in the hole. I think she got a base hit in right field, and they tried to throw her out from right field on Saturday. I think that's where it started. She strained a little bit, and then she hit one in the later innings of game 2 and strained it, and she just feels like it's a big time. Like, if I push it, I'm going to snap it. Our trainer will be there. She'll have her ready to go. And as long as she's in the lineup, I think that takes pressure off. Lexi hitting behind her, Lauren Lee hitting in front of her. Just to have Anna in the lineup at some capacity is going to take a lot of pressure off the whole team.
Coach, lastly, before we get set to get underway here, let's just talk about, I don't know if there's a rah-rah speech at this point that you give them before they take the field, but what's kind of the message here as we get set to make a postseason run?
The basic thing that we talked about, yesterday, and we'll talk in today. I know they're going to have a team dinner together tonight. The captains wanted that. Have fun. This is what you play for. Last year we were out of it, and to fight to get to the point that we are, enjoy it, because you don't know what's going to happen next year, year after. Just go have fun, leave it out on the field. And that's what I told him that a couple weeks ago. We lost game 1 to Morningside, and I gave him a speech. No regrets. Don't regret anything that you do on the field. Play as hard as you can. If it's got means you have to be a rah-rah cheerleader on the bench, you have to come in and get a bunt down, leave no regrets, and then if you do that, you can look into yourself in the mirror and say, I did everything I can as a team to win this.
Good luck. We'll talk when it's all over.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Tyson.
Stick around. Starting lineups play-by-play is coming up next. Midland University, Hastings College, first round of the GPAC Conference Tournament, and it's on Extreme Sports.
Yeah, we'll have the game for you coming up at noon today here on Extreme Sports. So a little preview of our pregame show, which begins at 11:45 this morning here on Extreme Sports. Again, we'll play in Fremont today. Hastings against Midland in the first game at 12 o'clock noon. Morningside will play Dort in the second game at 2. And then the winners will play at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and the losers will play at 6 o'clock tonight. This is a double elimination tournament, so you got to lose twice. Then the action will get underway again tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. So we'll worry about day one here today. Hastings and Midland ought to be a great softball game. Tyson will be heading to Fremont for that one. He'll have the call for you later on, beginning at 11:45 this morning, 12 o'clock for the first pitch. That's one of two pods. The other pod, so to speak, is in Orange City, Iowa today for softball. And Northwestern will play Doane at noon today, followed by Dakota Wesleyan against Concordia at 2. And then the same thing, the winners will play at 4, and the losers will play at 6 o'clock tonight. So that's what's going on in softball. The GPAC baseball tournament also gets underway today. 114 pod is in Seward, and that will have Briar Cliff playing Midland at 3 this afternoon. Concordia, the number 1 seed, will take on Dakota Wesleyan at 6 o'clock tonight. And then in Yankton, South Dakota, it's the Morningside bracket, but they're actually playing the games in Yankton, South Dakota. So this is co-hosted by Mount Marty. Anyway, the game's on Wednesday today. We'll have Doane playing Northwestern at 3 this afternoon. Morningside against Mount Marty at 6 o'clock tonight. So they'll play just one game in baseball, and then they'll resume action on Thursday. Their tournament will run through Friday. So that gets you up to date on all the GPAC stuff. We'll have a softball action coming up later on this morning here on Extreme Sports. Midland playing Hastings beginning at 11:45. Again, our high school baseball schedule today is going to be on Extreme Sports 2. That will pit Adams Central up against Twin River. The Patriots, as we mentioned in our sports break, coming up with a big win last night over Central City Centura, winning by the score of 5-2. The Patriots pick up the win over a team that had won 17 games in a row. They were 17-0 coming into the ball game last night. The Patriots beat them 5-2. So Adams Central now improves to 15-6 on the season. They'll play Twin River today. Again, that game was originally scheduled for Friday, so if you see the Adams Central schedules out or you check your schedules at home and thought, no, wait, Mike, the game is on Friday. They moved that to today because of some prom considerations, I understand, at Twin River, and practice, not for prom, but for graduation and things like that. Anyway, we're playing at 3 o'clock today at Duncan Field, 2:45 for the pregame show. We'll have high school baseball today over on Extreme Sports 2. You're listening to Huddle Up here today on Extreme Sports. Coming up on 7:43, we've got Alicia O'Donnell from Hastings College. She's standing by. Another interview, we'll talk with her about the college's participation in Give Hastings Day, which is coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a big day in the city for the nonprofits and raising all kinds of money for the nonprofits. So we'll get to her in just a couple of minutes. Again, the Hastings High baseball team winners last night. Ben Wibbles threw a one-hitter, struck out 12. Tigers beating Holdridge by the score of 6-0. So Hastings now 10-10 on the season. They'll play at Kearney on Friday. Hastings High soccer teams wrapped up their regular season with wins yesterday over Lincoln Standing Bear. The boys won 5-0 to improve to 14-1 on the season. The girls won 2-1 to up their record to 5 wins and 10 losses. So seedings and district pairings going to be coming out here in the next day or so for baseball as well as boys and girls soccer. So that's something to look forward to. 7:44. Let's move on. We'll get this interview with Alicia O'Donnell. Tyson sat down with Alicia to talk about the Hastings College participation in Give Hastings Day. We've got it exclusively here this morning on Extreme Sports.
Good morning. It's Huddle Up, Central Nebraska's newest morning show. Tyson Nevronik with you out on location on the campus here of Hastings College as they get set for a very big day coming up on Thursday. The entire community really getting set for a big day. Give Hastings Day, of course, is what we're chatting about, an opportunity to help out so many great local nonprofits, and one of the entities participating, Hastings College. And so we are talking with the Director of Engagement for Campaigns, familiar voice and face here for Hastings College, Alicia O'Donnell, joining us here on the show. And first of all, AO, great to catch back up with you. And first of all, let's just start off by talking a little bit about the big day Thursday. I know that you guys have some plans for some very exciting fundraising efforts.
Well, Tyson, thanks for stopping by. Always good to have you inquiring about what's happening here at Hastings College, and we appreciate the coverage so much. Give Hastings Day is really an opportunity to celebrate so many positive things happening in the community. And as one of the larger entities in Hastings, we go back and forth about participating, but we really like to use our large megaphone to get word out about Give Hastings Day, not only in Hastings and Adams County, but to our many alumni who lived here for 4 years and called this area home. This Give Hastings Day is particularly special in that we're raising funds for the newly created Dr. William Locke and Family Endowed Arboretum and Landscaping Fund. Now, that is a very long title for a fund that's going to do some very basic things here on campus. It is going to help provide us with the opportunity to buy additional trees and plants for our beautiful campus, invest in additional tools and equipment, not only for our maintenance staff, but mainly for our students who are integral in helping with campus upkeep, as well as informative artwork, signs, and water features to keep the campus, which is used through, by many in the community, beautiful. Many of you may know Will Locke from any number of community endeavors, whether it's First Presbyterian Church, the Boy Scouts, Hastings Public Schools, the many volunteer activities he's involved with. And somehow, with all of those other activities, he finds the time to squeeze in a visit to campus almost every day. Tyson, he's out there with facilities manager Paul Dooley, planting trees in the Hastings College Arboretum. Many times they're trees in memory or in honor of somebody in the community. He's working with students, teaching them about the outdoors in a very technical sense, and then also those kind of skills that last us a lifetime. Weeding, mowing lawns, mulching. He's deeply invested in outdoor education, as he was when he was with Hastings Public Schools. And we just feel like this is a wonderful way to celebrate and to ensure that those opportunities continue for students long after Will is no longer able to be on campus.
No surprise that his name is behind an arboretum and part of the beautification for outdoor learning opportunities here at the Hastings College campus. I think back to my first year at Hastings College, and really the first week was spent with Doug Locke outdoors doing some beautification efforts, having those outdoor learning opportunities. He was always found such joy in that with his students. And so this is really just an exciting project that we're putting funds towards. Talk maybe a little bit about the goal here and what those financial contributions add up to when thinking about this project.
Sure. Our Give Hastings Day goal is $20,000. The goal for the project overall is $75,000. Put into an endowment generating annual funds for trees, equipment, signage. Another component of that funds raised would go toward an entrance to the rain garden. The rain garden, as many of your listeners may know, is located over by the Morrison Reeves Science Center, and is just an opportunity for, again, our students to grow and see the process of how the environment reacts to various plants, how butterflies and birds are attracted to plants and other flora. And we'd really like to have an entryway there that somehow celebrates Will and his family's abiding ties to Hastings College. It's really not just Will. I mean, Will's wife Jenny is a very respected local early learning expert. Their daughter Sarah and her husband Christian Freeling have been involved in the Hastings community when they lived here. They've been really committed to the college, and we wish to celebrate them in some way.
Alicia O'Donnell joining us here, talking about all things going on at Hastings College as part of their participation here in Give Hastings Day. And then just on that, for the college to be able to participate and celebrate in this annual Day of Giving, which broke records last year, and we're anticipating a very similar turnout again here for 2025. Just talk about being able to participate and how exciting that is really for this entire community, not just Hastings College, but the benefit that we see for the entire town.
Tyson, it's so invigorating as somebody who spends day in, day out working on fundraising and making cool things possible, whether it's scholarships for students or new windows in French Memorial Chapel, to see those efforts by my colleagues here in this office and throughout the community, to see that celebrated, and really people out painting windows and putting yard signs. It makes it worth it to see people who really do want to make this community advance and thrive coming together on Give Hastings Day. Whether it's the sponsors for the event, whether it's the people who stop by for the luncheon. It's always a great time to meet up with colleagues and to really think about and consider what's possible in Hastings and Adams County, and how we can make those things a reality.
Again, Give Hastings Day coming up this Thursday. Hastings College, one of those participating, an opportunity to get involved in the Dr. William Locke Arboretum project that is going to be going on. The one thing I will say is I will miss you coming up this week. We're going to be over in Fremont following the Hastings College softball team in the GPAC tournament. We'll miss your voice as part of the public address. So not only fundraising here for Hastings College, but doing one heck of a job at the athletics and in terms of PA. So we'll miss you, but we wish you the very best come Give Hastings Day.
Thank you, Tyson. I'm going to miss being with the softball team as well. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to be in more than one place at once. It's going to be busy enough already. Give Hastings Day happens to fall when we have foundation board meetings, as well as on Friday and Saturday, the celebration and dedication of the renovated Jack Osborne Track Complex, which has been a major project, and will bring a lot of people to the community for the GPAC Outdoor Championship. So lots going on at Hastings College. I wish the Bronco softball team the very best, and thanks for stopping by, Tyson.
All right, again, that's Alicia O'Donnell from Hastings College as they get set for Give Hastings Day, which is coming up tomorrow. So a busy day. We've got softball up in Fremont. We've got baseball today out at Duncan Field. Hastings College softball game live. We'll have it for you here on the air on Extreme Sports beginning at 11:45 this morning. We'll have baseball today over on Extreme Sports 2 as Adams Central gets ready to take on Twin River today, and then Hastings College will play later on this afternoon or this evening in their second game of the GPAC Softball Championship. So, hey, there's a lot going on for a Wednesday as we roll on here. Mike and Tyson this morning on Huddle Up. It is now 7:54 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Earlier this week, the Hastings City Council voted 5-3 to allow the phrase "In God We Trust" to be displayed along the city logo in public buildings. The decision followed an hour of public testimony with divided opinions. Mayor Jay Beckby will oversee the design and placement of the displays in facilities like the public library, museum, and the Aqua Court. More on Sunday's tornado in western Nebraska, as it's being reported as one of the largest in the state's history. Only 7 tornadoes in Nebraska history have exceeded a mile in width. This tornado, which derailed 130 train cars and destroyed a home, measured about 2,200 yards, making it the widest tornado ever recorded in the region since 1950, according to data from the National Weather Service office. It traveled over 21 miles from Garden County to Cherry County with wind speeds exceeding 130 miles per hour. Officials are still assessing damage, especially in Cherry County. Meanwhile, at the state capitol, Nebraska lawmakers advanced a bill yesterday that would cut inheritance tax rates and increase exemptions while introducing alternative revenue sources to help counties offset the lost funds. Critics argued that most Nebraskans accept the current tax and fear the changes could harm county budgets, but this bill proposes new fees and tax reallocations to maintain county revenue and prevent property tax hikes, though it also eliminates several business tax incentives. The bill did pass first round of debate by a 27-10 vote, but does face calls for revision before it gets to move forward. And out in Minden, to celebrate its 25th anniversary since reopening, the Minden Opera House is hosting a special weekend of events from May 23rd through the 24th. Originally built in 1891 and fully renovated in the year 2000, the venue has become a cultural hub for South Central Nebraska. The festivities begin that Friday on May 23rd with cheers to 25 years, an evening of wine tasting, desserts, and entertainment.
In sports, Gabe Swanson hit a walk-off 3-run double in the bottom of the 9th inning to give the Nebraska baseball team a 7-6 victory over Kansas State last night at Hawks Field. Nebraska scored 7 runs on 9 hits with 3 errors, while Kansas State totaled 6 runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Dylan Carey led the Huskers at the plate, going 3 for 3 with a pair of runs scored. Tucker Timmerman was the starting pitcher last night for Nebraska. He tossed 2 2/3 innings. That allowed an unearned run on 2 hits with a pair of strikeouts. Nebraska now 22-23 on the season. They'll host Minnesota in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. Nebraska's softball player Jordy Ball has earned 3 national honors for her performance last weekend out in Washington. She was named the NFCA Player of the Week, along with the D1 Softball Player of the Week and a Softball America Star of the Week. Ball was also named the Big Ten Player of the Week. She hit .625 last weekend with 5 hits, 3 home runs, 3 runs scored, and 8 RBIs. The Big Ten Conference has announced the home and away matchups for the 2025-2026 men's college basketball season. With 18 teams, the Big Ten schedule features 3 double play opponents and 1 game apiece against the remaining 14 conference schools to make up the 20-game conference season. Nebraska's double play opponents for the upcoming season are with Iowa, Illinois, and Northwestern. The Huskers will have their home games against Maryland, Michigan State, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Wisconsin, and Washington. And Nebraska will have other road games at Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, Rutgers, UCLA, and USC. 4 more Nebraska football players have entered the transfer portal. Defensive back Evan Taylor, receiver Hayes Miller, and defensive lineman Ian Flint and David Borchers are all exiting the program. That makes 6 players that have entered the portal so far this week. Nebraska unofficially sits at 123 players now after the departures as they move closer to the future 105-man limit. Again, in high school baseball yesterday, Jacob Reichstein threw a 4-hitter last night to lead Adams Central to a 5-2 win over Central City Centura. The Patriots now 15-6. Ben Wibbles of Hastings High threw a 1-hitter. He struck out 12 as the Tigers beat Holdridge yesterday 6-0. The Tigers are now 10-10. That's a check on your sports headlines at Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday, we'll have a chance for some showers throughout the morning and early afternoon time frame. About a 50% chance, a high of 67. So obviously it'll be cloudy today and not a lot of wind. That'll be a good thing as well. Overnight tonight, a chance of an area shower or thunderstorm. 48's the overnight low. On Thursday, we'll bring the sunshine back. It'll still be fairly cool compared to where we've been. 69's the high. 44 Thursday night, and heading into the weekend, plenty of sunshine and 60s.
As you get out the door this morning, east winds at 5 miles per hour. It is cloudy, 47 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Cam Raceway brings the action every Friday night with high-speed thrills and dirt-flying excitement for the whole family. From A-class and non-wing warriors to junior sprints, junior cage karts, and flat karts, there's something for every race fan to cheer for. Grandstands open at 7. Ages 13 and up are just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Want to be part of the action? Pit passes are just $20, with gates opening at 5:30. And mark your calendars. Saturday, May 24th is the Deb Brunts Memorial Show, featuring $20,000 in total purse and some of the best racing you'll see all season. Cam Raceway, where the dirt flies and legends are made.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Willis, Heinz and Vronic with you on this Wednesday as we get you out the door here this morning. Again, we've got all kinds of action for you on the air on Extreme Sports today. It gets underway at 11:45 this morning. It'll be Hastings and Midland in the opening round of the GPAC Conference postseason tournament up in Fremont. 11:45 for the pregame. Tyson will have the play-by-play beginning at noon today here on Extreme Sports. The Broncos will play a second game at either 4 or 6 o'clock, depending on what happens in that first game. So we'll have both games for you today here on Extreme Sports. All have high school baseball for you from Duncan Field today as Adams Central will take on Twin River. That game gets underway at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Pre-game show begins at 2:45 this afternoon on Extreme Sports 2. So we'll have Hastings College softball here on Extreme Sports. We'll have high school baseball with Adams Central and Twin River over on Extreme Sports 2 here this afternoon. Again, thanks for Alicia O'Donnell of Hastings College, Troy Baker of Hastings College for joining us on the show today. If you'd like to listen to those interviews or any part of the show, just go to our social media sites, the podcast section, download the podcast, listen to the show again. Even if you're on Roku TV, the Roku TV app, you can listen to this show again via podcast. Again, thanks for joining us. We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.
Of this interview.
Yeah, well, it's even further, right? I know there's an article in The Athletic that just came out that you remember a lot of NFL teams have turned down being on Hard Knocks. And, of course, you just look a year ago as Joe Shane saying, the issues with Saquon Barkley and how that all transpired. They didn't draft Jaden Daniels, so on and so forth. But apparently, the football program there for North Carolina was going to be that pivot. That deal also fell apart. Details forthcoming here in this Athletic article was just released about an hour ago. But again, overall, as far as the betting concerns, I think you're gonna find out a lot first and foremost of how that team performs in that initial game, right, against TCU, and maybe that gives us a little more of an idea. But as far as a win total, I mean, just go look at the opponents who they play in conference. Like, okay, on paper, with the talent they have coming back, Dave, this should be an easy over 7.5. That being said, you have all these distractions and those things kind of